Bewitched by Earth by Mystical Rainbow. Sister Swap. In an attic in a house grey field, a circular plate with 4 colours and 4 marbles sat alone. Suddenly, a squeak came from a wall. A hairy rat ran up to the disc and stared at it. Meanwhile, in Ponyville, 4 mares were sleeping in the same room. The Pie Sisters were each asleep with their own expressions. Pinky slept with a smile. Maud slept with no real emotion in her face. Limestone slept as she was constantly on guard. And Marble Pie slept like she was scared. Suddenly, the rat took a marble and tried to bite it. A squeak of pain ran through the air, and he started swearing. He jumped off in frustration and sent the disc in a spin. The sisters in Sugar Cube Corner suddenly swapped expressions about a dozen times. Then an alarm clock went off, and a grey hoof nearly beat it into the desk. Limestone woke up and sprang for a hug. "Good morning!" Pinky was surprised by this and tried to get loose. But Maud didn't have to even try. She escaped and marched to the window to see outside. "Come on, Grouchy Pants, smile for us," Limestone said. "Maybe later. I've got things to do," Maud said in an angry voice. Marble had gotten up and brushed her teeth. She had escaped her sister, but showed no sign of emotion. Pinky slowly crept into the bathroom after her. The group went downstairs and waited on Limestone to make breakfast. She wasn't the best cook, so Pinky went in to try and help. She had to be pushed into the room to motivate her, though. Suddenly, Twilight Sparkle came in to visit. "Morning, everypony," Twilight smiled. Hi," Pinky said in a soft tone. "Hello," Marble said in a monotone voice. "Who are you again?" Maud asked in a frustrated tone. Limestone suddenly broke into a dance and started singing a hello song. She bounced through the room and eventually stopped right in front of Twilight, who looked confused. Are you all okay?" Twilight asked with a grin on her face. She wasn't so sure if this was abnormal with the pies or not. "We're fine," the group said in unison. "Okay, that..." Twilight was cut off by a loud gasp. "Pinky, you never told me you had so many instruments here." Limestone brought down a bunch of instruments. "Oh, well, I don't exactly remember," Pinky said as she was also cut off. "Thank you!" Limestone grabbed a drum and a harmonica and started making music. The neighbors assumed it was Pinky, but when she walked out of the house, with her hair deflated, they felt something was off. The quartet had plans to meet Twilight and the others for a picnic. They all went to an open field and took spots. The ponies immediately felt something was strange. Pinky and Applejack described the group before, but that suddenly seemed so far. Maud was examining the ground with a sea of anger in her eyes. Marble was having a full-fledged conversation with Applejack and everyone, but it still felt like talking to a wall with a mouth. Pinkie Pie was acting like Fluttershy without a single lesson. Her attempts to run away were constantly thwarted by Limestone, who was making balloon animals and bouncing around with a ton of energy. "Pinky, you seem awful quiet today," Twilight said. I'm fine." Pinky looked at the ground. "Are you trying impressions again? I do a much better Fluttershy than that," Rainbow said. You seem rather timid today." Fluttershy stared at Rainbow Dash for a second. She then turned towards Limestone, who was acting just like Pinky before Twilight moved to town. "I'm fantastic! I could sing a song about the joy I have!" Limestone shouted. "I didn't even ask you yet." Fluttershy looked amazed. "I was reading your mind," she said. Rarity turned towards Maud. She said hi, and Maud just glared and said hello. "How are you today?" Rarity asked, suddenly feeling nervous. I'm fine. I already said it like 20 times. Maud had an angry expression and angry voice to match. Twilight, can I speak to you for a second? Rarity asked as she pulled her away. What's wrong? That is not Maud Pie! Rarity shouted in a whisper. I know she can be hard to understand sometimes, but we probably didn't notice her emotions on that level before. I went to that Pie's sister celebration day thing. She didn't show a single drop of anger at that swindling colt or anything else. She didn't get irritated by simple questions so much. How do you know that? Twilight said. Pinkie has told me she's never gotten a real dent out of Maud in years. The others are acting as if they've been swapped over too. Maybe we should ask them, Twilight said. We can hear you, all the Pie sisters shouted. The group brought up the trouble and remembered a family heirloom in their home. The sibling rock plate. It was strong as earth tectonic plates and represented all 4 of them. They each had a marble to put on it. If the marbles were rearranged, they didn't know what would happen. Pinkie could never get close enough to it as a filly. The group went to the farm to sort things out, but the Pies' memories were all a bit frazzled as they couldn't remember where they lived. They eventually made it, and Rainbow flew over and tried to look on the giant boulder, but Maud snatched a lasso from Applejack and yanked her back. What the? Rainbow Dash said as she was plummeted to the ground. Don't touch Holder's boulder, she said with a fiery glare. The group found the sibling plates and the marbles. They tried rearranging them. The dots were individually colored with 1 matching spot each. They put them together, and now Pinkie had flat hair with a monotone voice. I don't think that's right. Rainbow started to laugh a bit at how Pinkie looked while being Maud. She eventually tried to rearrange them from oldest to youngest. Will you hurry up? Apparently Marble had taken her angry sister's tone. Drat! It didn't work! No, you got them all mixed up. Maud's the oldest. Applejack tried to rearrange them. And found the sisters were still mixed up. Maud suddenly bounced into the room and found a photo. Ah, such a cute photo. She showed it to her sisters, and it had the plate on it. Was I really that small? Limestone said. Twilight grabbed the picture and tried rearranging the marbles again. But something was missing. A big rock was stolen from the plate. They looked around for it, but a squeaky voice was swearing in the wall. Fluttershy looked in to see a mouse with a chipped tooth and the rock. Hello, Mr. Rat, Fluttershy called him. He came closer to her and complained about his tooth and explained what happened. He also proved to have a colorful vocabulary too. I know it hurts, but can we please have the rock that you have in there? Fluttershy asked. Thank you. The rodents complained and gave her the rock. And she returned the favor with a few cherries. Once the deed was done, the sisters were back to normal. They found a note that said that their parents were out of business and to get a new case for the plate. I'm me again, Pinkie said. Well, that's better, Maud said in a monotone voice. I'm glad I'm back. This farm needs me, Limestone said. Thank you, Marble said. Naturally, they left things as they were, but with a temporary magic shield.